Hi, I'm Carrie, and today is Tuesday, October 29th, 2013. Today I wanted to talk about what some of my plans are for my future, um, short term and long term. Um, I try not to set my future, my plans too um, rigidly because of the fact that in my experience even the most well laid out plans always go awry somehow, and things wind up foobar, and you just have to be flexible. And so I plan in a lot of flexibility, and basically I set goals that are realistic yet challenging, and um, try to set myself in that direction without being so rigid that I'll be disappointed if um, I need to modify or even delay. Um, but for the most part, I often am right in the ballpark of where I expect to be. Um, like my name change was that way. I pretty much accomplished that um, within a month of my goal, and I wanted to have my name changed by my birthday, and it wound up being official by August. But I was out and living full time by my birthday, or just after. So I did pretty good. Um, Now my next goal is, to finish my electrology, which I had hoped was gonna be finished by the time I was living full time, but that was an unrealistic goal. I had no idea exactly how long it was going to take in hours, um, and I was way off there. Uh, and that's okay. Like I said, I'm flexible. So um, funding is hard because my rent went up, and as a result, um, see, the rent going up isn't a bad thing because it's actually increased my escrow contribution, which I'll get to in a little bit. Um, but it hurts my funding now for my electrology. So I'm kind of just tightening my belt and scraping by with as little as I can, living below my means, and everything extra that I can set aside is going to electrology. Um, and coming up in the near future, I'm gonna be able to increase um, my sessions because I'm almost finished paying for my Invisalign. That's $6,000. I'm almost finished paying off, and yeah, I have four more payments on that, and that's going to increase my budget for electrology by a couple $100, and I'm looking really forward to that. Um, that's basically the biggest thing in my immediate plans. Now my long term plan is SRS, and I hope to be able to get hair transplants and other work done as well. Nose job. I'd like a brow shave, maybe chin reduction. Um, but SRS and transplants would be first on my list of things. Um, Now, realistically, um, I don't expect my state of Hawaii to jump on the bandwagon with California and start, and for my insurance to start covering that sort of thing. Would be great if that happened, because it would open my funds up for so many other things, but I'm not going to count on that. So the way I'm funding my future surgeries is through a program that I'm in with HUD that I got into when I first started. Actually, when did I start it? I was paying about $400 a month rent. So I was working with CloudBreak, and I had just gotten this job with Moana Pacific. But they weren't looking at that income yet. They were looking at my income at $8 an hour. So it took a year on the program before my rent went up the first time. Anyways, this program is called the Family Self-Sufficiency Program. It's through the government, HUD. I have a VASH voucher, which is a Section 8 for veterans, and I was granted this voucher for Section 8 assistance, and at first I was hardly paying anything. Now I'm paying almost all my rent. And if I do work myself to where I'm paying it all, then I'll be out of the program. I don't want to get out because I'm going to get to that. Okay. What I need to do, if I can bring this into fruition, is after a year working at double the wage that I started in the program, they looked at my income and they says, "Oh, you made twice as much money as you did last year. We need to raise your rent." So what happens then is they take that rent money and they put it in an escrow account in my name. And so at that point in time, I was putting about almost $400. And now I worked for a year in this job. They reevaluated me again, and now I made more money again. So they raised my rent some more. Now I'm paying almost $500 a month in to this escrow account. And we did the math, my case manager and I, a couple weeks ago, and we figured that if I can bring this into fruition, which is a 5-year program, that at the end of this program I'll have $21,000, and I can take that money and use it for whatever I want. So, all the better if the insurance covers SRS by then. But if it doesn't, it's more than sufficient for a trip to Thailand. So I'm not really too worried about it. I just have to be patient. And in the meantime, I have plenty of time to piecemeal the rest of my transition and get everything else in order. So I don't need to scratch and save and put so much money away and try to save up for this SRS in the traditional sense, because all this rent I'm paying every month is hopefully going to be I'm going to be able to draw on that later down the road. If I couldn't, I probably would be living on the beach, camping in my van and trying to put the money away myself, which would require a lot more discipline, and that's tough when you have the money and you're living below your means, and You can touch it if you want, but you have to have the self-discipline not to. So I'm glad I don't have to go there, but if things change, if I lose my job, which I'm only a paycheck away from homelessness, right? So um, yeah, there's a lot of variables that if I was to get into trouble at work, if I'm kind of paranoid right now that they could be um, just watching me and trying to pick on every little thing I do in order to build a case to let me go because I'm trans, but they can't say it straight out, so they have to find some other reason to terminate me. So um, there's some evidence to support that they've been kind of unfair with me, but it might just be a personal thing between me and a certain individual, not the policy of my company. So don't really have any definitive evidence. I'm documenting everything that happens that I'm told to do, and I'm just trying to do the best job that I possibly can and keep my big mouth shut because I've got a big one. Yeah, and I need to learn to listen more and not speak everything that's on my mind. Anyhow, so hopefully, yeah, if I can maintain my stability and continue to put this money away for a few more years, I'll be set. And in the meantime, once I get my electrology done, then the money that I've been spending on that, I can save up towards hair transplants. And I've been approved for financing on that, but I just can't make the numbers crunch to absorb another payment until I'm finished with electrology. So yeah, one thing at a time. But yeah, that's transition though. I found that it's all a test of patience. And everything seems to be a waiting game, every step of the way. But the the payoff is good, and yeah, I hopefully it will all be worth the wait. But I'm not holding my happiness hostage. Matter of fact, I'm quite happy right here, right now. Um, but I'm looking forward in the future and setting goals because there's more to life than right now. I want to experience the whole trip. So with that, I'm looking at almost 14 minutes, 13 and a half. So I'm going to have to get this closed. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Any questions or comments, please leave them. And please rate me and let me know what you think, okay? And until next time, this is Carrie signing out. Aloha. Bye bye.